Hello, YouTube. I have a little bit of time while my son is inside a building taking care of some business. It's his birthday. Um, and so while I'm here in the car, I'm going to address a matter that um, really didn't need to be brought to YouTube. And I believe after today, I'm just really done with the street sector and its drama and its people. Um, I am not here to drag. I'm not here to share info about anybody or anything like that. I tried to handle this behind the scenes like adults do. But instead of having a conversation like an adult, this individual chooses to go to community walls, make all these cryptic messages, and catch an attitude. So I don't do subliminals. I don't do inferences. I don't imply things. I'm direct and I'm genuine and I'm real. I'm going to say this. I put the name in here of who I'm talking to. I'm talking to Vibes Queen or VQ. Um, again, I wanted to handle this privately, but you chose otherwise. I got sent. Uh, there were a couple of live streams made expressing frustration and concern about people dealing with certain individuals in the sector and how she perceived it was bringing drama to et cetera, et cetera. I didn't perceive that as as that being related to me. But at any rate, I got some messages the other day. I went on a content creator, specifically Ken Nola was kind enough to allow me to utilize his platform because I don't know how to work StreamYard. I had once tried to do a live rebuttal to Brown Eye Reacts, and I could not figure out how to share the screen properly, how to have the audio, how to. I had to do it later another time where I just played the audio on one device. I couldn't figure out how to show the material. It just didn't work for me. And so being that I was trying to be, I did not come to Vibes Queen and say, "Hey, I want to clear my name with Octavius. Can you know how to work StreamYard? StreamYard, will you show the videos? I mean, the images and the videos or whatever screenshots." I didn't put her in that position out of respect. Because I didn't want her to have any issues with that person who could be retaliatory. The person who was kind enough to offer me a platform to clear my name, I went there. I recognize that people have issues with canola. I know he said some disgusting things about children. I've told him myself I don't approve of those things. I've always maintained on this app, always since I've been here, my stance that I am neutral, that I don't get involved with different people's beef with one another, that they have some of the stuff they do to one another, I don't approve of, and I don't get involved in those things. But I'm an adult. And just like in my personal life, no one tells me where to go and how to go and how to engage. I I don't no one does that on this app. And I'm not saying anyone told me to do that, but let's be clear. I am not a flip-flopper. I'm the exact same person I've been every day that I've been on here. Since the very day I've been on here, I have made it clear that I engage with numerous different content creators and subscribers um, who like and dislike one another. Now, when people dislike one another, I don't get involved in bashing or discussing or anything that they're doing with the other person. I am woman enough and mature enough to know not to do that, to have integrity. If those people even tried to involve me, I wouldn't involve myself, but no one has tried. But at any rate, I got sent all of these screenshots and things like that about some posts that were made about people being flip floppers and wanting to get the last laugh and all this kind of stuff. Um, I what I was I also got a disappearing message that said some things. So I, like a woman, I hit her up privately, didn't go to YouTube, and asked for some clarification. Didn't get an answer. Um, there was a live stream, and yes, I understand the live stream was intention was about three main people were mentioned, but then some other things were said toward the end of it that were not related to those three people. And so it was quite pointed and used the same language as the community wall post. So again, I asked about it. No response, even though my messages were read. I'm just trying to I wanted to ask her because she's made this she's um mistakenly put me in things before. There was a time that Yana J made a post about weird people and something something. And I said, "Oh yeah, weird people. Are totally weird. This and the other." And Vibes Queen sparked up a whole live with talking about me, mentioning my name, saying there's MGO jumping in here and she be here in the castle and she's saying the bad stuff about me. And so I got on the thing. I said, what are you talking about? She just said weird people. I agreed. She said, oh, well, she means me by weird people. I said, well, how am I supposed to know? Nowhere in there did she say your name. I don't know every single thing that every single person on the internet has ever said. How would I know that one day she called you weird? And therefore, when she said weird people, it was code for you. I did not know that. I literally just thought she meant weird people. She said, okay, I'm sorry. I assumed you knew. I apologize. So that was what was the time that she came to the internet with it instead of coming to me. And I said in that live stream, hey, if you think that's not the type of person I am, but if that's what you think I'm doing or you think is happening, just come to me and ask me if, in the future for clarification. That could have happened. It didn't happen. I also want to maintain that the very first time I ever spoke with Vibes Queen, it's still on her page. She has the right to take it down or private or what she wants to do, but it's a live stream where there's a picture of King of Commentary and Marcus on it. And in there, I came up and she asked me again if I was a person who was endorsing calling CPS on people. And I said, no, I'm not. I don't understand. But in that very live stream, I said, I'm a person who goes in lots of people's chats and lots of people's channels. Chase, Sunny, this person, that person, Activius, Kiki, it's YouTube. I made it clear from that very day that I am subscribed in and deal with lots of different people. I always have. The entire time that I've been part of the castle, I've always said to everyone, the castle was my first home on YouTube. It was. I've always said I feel comfortable there. I like the people there. I have respected Vibes Queen. I have not had an issue with her. But I still reserve my right to go wherever I want and reserve my right to communicate with whomever I want. Now, she doesn't have to deal with such a person. Absolutely not. But I want to make it clear every single day that I've been involved with the castle, I have still maintained my involvement and my connection with other people. This isn't new. So if you have a problem with it yesterday or today or whenever, because people try to take your kids or try to do this or other things that you mentioned in your live stream, then you should have never allowed me to be a resident or in the first place, because I have never hidden the fact that I know these people. I don't have a problem with them. I am not involved. I don't endorse things that people might have done to harm you or anyone has done to harm anyone. But that's not fair to me. And so I want to say this. I reached out to Golden, your moderator, as you said on your post, because she's your friend. I didn't reach out to her as your moderator. I reached out to her as your friend because I didn't want to have to come to the internet and do this. And because I didn't know what's going on, and you're acting very emotionally unstable. And so I came to her to try to ask for advice about how to deal with this with you amicably. And so you then make posts about don't come to your moderators for this or that. Cool. I won't. I'm coming to YouTube, you know, and saying this. I'm not a flip-flopper. If you don't want me around, actually, it doesn't even matter if you don't want me around. I've already unsubscribed. I've already ended my membership. I'm not planning to come here and drag you, talk crazy about you. That's not the type of person I am. I don't do that. But I don't appreciate it. Is very clear to everyone. Everyone knows that I rock with the castle. I put the castle and stuff. I'm there. I try to catch replays. I'm not with that live. And numerous people reached out to me about the fact that the very day that I went to clear my name, that all these posts were being made. That's not fair to me. That didn't have to happen. And if you weren't talking about me, then you could have simply responded to my message and said, because I put a question mark on one of your posts. I asked it directly on another in a comment, and I messaged you. You could have just said, no, of course not. What are you talking about? But you chose to go to YouTube. So cool. That's how you handle things. That's fine. That's not how I handle things. But I can't tell you what to do. You're an adult. But I'm going to make this clear again. Nobody, male, female, animal, child, is going to dictate where I go or who I go, where I go on YouTube. And in doing so, all of this time, all of the different people who don't get along with each other, who hate each other, can attest that I never get involved and with them behind the scenes or publicly bashing the people. I'm Audio Pope's mod. He and Ken hate each other. I was Octavius's mod. I'm modding for several people. I have different people. If someone else if you have an issue with Kenola or Sunny or whomever, you have the right to have that issue. But again, I have been in communication I was Sunny's mod at one time. I've been in communication with all of these different people in various capacities, usually just on YouTube, from the very beginning of my time in the sector. That has never changed. Someone allowing me their platform, nobody else volunteered their platform for me to clear my name. And it's my children that could be taken away if I'm being falsely accused of human trafficking, carrying vulnerable adults across state lines for sexual coercion, tax evasion, fraudulent use of federal funds, kidnapping children and all of these things. That's my children that could be taken away from me. That's my livelihood that could be harmed. That's me possibly facing investigation for false charges. And so, just like you want to clear your name all the time, I have every right to clear mine. And that's what I do. And so, if someone wants to give me a platform to do that, I am graciously going to accept that platform because, again, no one else offered it to me but Canola. So again, people can have issues or problems with him as a person, but for you to, I apologize to no one for using the platform that was given to me to clear my name. And I hope to, I hope this is over with. We don't have to deal with one another anymore. I don't want to deal with people who are that immature and that emotionally unstable to where you can't just have a conversation with a person. You have to go to YouTube for everything and then cry victim. So before you say it, no, I'm not joining a hate train. No, I'm not going to reach out to all the different people that you don't get along with, whom some of whom I've already been in contact with, and they already know I don't bash you. Ask anyone whom you've fallen out with that I may be in communication with. Ask if I've ever bashed you or said anything about you or engaged in that. I'm not going to. That's not the type of person I am. I only retaliate and defend. I don't start things. So I'm not going to say anything negative about you. Why, if I wasn't going to say anything negative about you yesterday, why would I say anything negative about you today? But I'm just saying I don't dance around things and say, if you this, if you that. Oh, the thing about passing messages, again, I apologized to you, but one time someone came to who you don't like, came to me with a message trying to warn you out of concern for you and your family. They asked me to pass a message along. I did one time. I never did again. I could not know that you don't want messages passed, but I've never done so since. And so give people. I'm sorry that you can't give me grace for doing something one time that I didn't know that you wanted done, but I was doing it again because the person expressed concern, so I was just passing it along out of concern. It's not something I do habitually. But since you wanted to mention that too in your disappearing message, as well as on your community wall, there it's addressed. You don't have to worry about anything related to me moving forward. All of the rest of you who are castle residents and mods, etc., I don't have a problem with you, and I don't have a problem with her either. I just don't like the way she handled this. But however she feels or doesn't feel about me, I'm going to make this easy for you so you don't have to feel any issues. I went in StreamYard the other day and I modded up a whole bunch of people because I just felt like I needed help. I don't want to put you in those situations. When I get a chance to get on StreamYard again, I will unmod all of you. You don't have to interact with me if you just feel like it's going to cause problems for you on YouTube. I respect the fact that you're castle mods and residents, and I wish you the best over there. I don't want anyone dragging or talking bad about this woman because of the situation. I just want to go my separate way. It's okay. It's fine. We're adults. This is an app. Um, but yeah, I wish you all well. It's my baby's birthday. Again, I'm in the car, had a few minutes, just wanted to address this. Again, I tried to address it behind the scenes like an adult, but since we go to YouTube about everything, it's on YouTube. Be blessed, all of y'all. I think if this is again the direction, all of this stuff going on, Octavius, other stuff, and now this, I don't have the emotional bandwidth, nor the time for this kind of stuff. So I used to adore the street sector. It was a place where, but it's become a cesspool, and so I think I'm just gonna move around. Y'all be blessed. Have a good day. Again, I'm not bad talking that woman. I'm not lying on that woman. I'm not saying anything negative about her or anything like that. How I'm choosing to go my own way. Now, if the heat gets turned up, you know what I mean, that will determine how I act. But my choice, my what I'm choosing to do now is just explain um, directly and openly, and then move forward. Have a great day, everyone.